Number 10 is asking us to graph the following 4 points, and then we need to find the length and slope of each side. So this one's going to be quite a bit of work. So let's get started with our points. I need to plot negative 5, 8, and I'm going to label that as A. B is 3, 4. C is 5, negative 7. And D is negative 3, negative 3. So I'm going to connect all the dots, and I want to make sure that I connect them in a way that makes this into a quadrilateral. So be very careful to make sure that when you're doing these types of problems, you want to graph the points to make sure that the letters are connecting in the way that you think they are. So now we have to do 4 distances and 4 slopes. So I'm going to write the distance formula up at the top. And again, this is something you're going to have memorized. Okay, so for number 10 here, let's see, we have to do 4 sets, sorry. So we're going to do the distance of AB, the distance of BC, CD, and DA. So all 4 of these distances. So for the AB, I'm going to plug in my points. So I would have 3 minus negative 5 and 4 minus 8. And when you put this all into your calculator, you should get the square root of 80. For BC, you would have 5 minus 3 and negative 7 minus 4 for a grand total of the square root of 125. Now you'll notice I'm not doing factor trees with these because what this is leading into is question 11, where it's going to ask us to classify. So I'm not so concerned about what the final distances are. I'm more concerned about, are they the same? And I can tell that without having to do a factor tree. For CD, I'm going to have negative 3 minus 5 and negative 3 minus negative 7 for a grand total of the square root of 80. And last but not least, we have DA. So my points, or my numbers, would be negative 3 minus negative 5 and negative 3 minus 8. And you end up with the square root of 125 again. Now I have to do 4 slopes. So I have to do the slopes of the same 4 segments. Okay, so I'm going to write the slope formula up at the top also. Again, something you have memorized. Okay, so now we're going to plug these things in, and kind of a shortcut, and it only works if you're really confident that you did the distance formula correct. This y2 minus y1 right here is the same y2 minus y1 that's in your second set of parentheses. And then the x2 minus x1 is the same as this x2 minus x1. So you can just basically transfer those into your fractions. Just be very careful that you're putting everything in the right spot. So for AB, I would have 4 minus 8 over 3 minus negative 5. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. 3 minus negative 5 is 8. And if you reduce, you get negative 1/2. For BC, we would have negative 7 minus 4 over 5 minus 3. Negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11. And 5 minus 3 is 2. And there's nothing else I can do to simplify there. CD, I would have negative 3 minus negative 7 over negative 3 minus 5. Negative 3 minus negative 7 actually comes out to be positive 4. And then that would be negative 8 for the denominator, which reduces to negative 1/2. And last but not least, for DA, I would have negative 3 minus 8 over negative 3 minus negative 5. So this turns into negative 11 over positive 2. So those are my 4 distances and my 4 slopes, and that's all this problem is asking so far.